Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Bay Area Case Studies Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions that's happening, and all sessions are being recorded and will be available within about a week's time at strivescan.com/BACS. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters, and we'll begin this evening with the University of Michigan.
Thanks so much, Owen. And just 1 second while I share my screen. Welcome everyone to the College Fair. We're gonna share a lot of information in a very short amount of time, and just bear with us as we go through our technological challenges. My name is Chris Asoro. My pronouns are he, him. I am the Regional Recruitment Coordinator within the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. Traditionally, I'm based in the state of California, so it's not too late of an evening for me. I do work primarily with students coming from California, as well as my home state of Hawaii. As far as the University of Michigan, before we actually get into the formal program, we wanted to recognize the land upon which the University of Michigan was founded. In 1817, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations made the largest single land transfer to the University of Michigan, ceded through the treaty at Fort Meg so that their children could be educated. We recognize the history of displacement of Native communities that facilitated the founding of the University of Michigan. We acknowledge the sovereignty of tribal lands, and we reaffirm contemporary as well as ancestral Anishinaabeg ties to the land, as well as the profound contributions of Native Americans to the institution. Beyond the words of acknowledgement, we also wanted to reiterate that we do provide academic support to students coming from Native lands as well as Native backgrounds. We also have the Michigan Native student waiver as well in terms of applying to the University of Michigan. Just as we acknowledge the ancestry on the land on which we are living, I also feel compelled to speak to both the reality as well as serious impact of racial injustice in our country. Black Lives Matter, and we do acknowledge the active role that our university must play in the conversation around those injustices and in forging a path towards positive change. Please note that our efforts begin with fostering a diverse, equitable, and inclusive community for our students, faculty, and staff here on campus. Recognizing that the University of Michigan is a predominantly white institution, please note that we do have an ongoing focus, spearheaded by our DEI office, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion office, on improving our climate of diversity to be supportive of all. Recognizing today's news, I just wanted to reiterate our president did send out a message of support. It is our hope that everyone in our community asks themselves, what can I do to create a more just world? We cannot be bystanders on such critical and crucial issues of racial justice and live up to the highest value of a public university. So I want to recognize all that is going on in the world, and also that we are committed for diversity, equity, and inclusion at the University of Michigan. In terms of fast facts about the university, for those of you just learning about the University of Michigan, we are founded in the city of Ann Arbor, about 120,000 total residents. We moved to Ann Arbor in 1837. We are one of the top college towns. We do have more than 300 restaurants located in downtown Ann Arbor, and we also have access to nature as we are nestled alongside the Huron River. In terms of the undergraduate student population, many of you students are coming from perhaps smaller high schools and wondering, what is life like at the University of Michigan? We have a little over 30,000 total undergraduate students, a little more than half coming from in-state, the state of Michigan, and the rest coming from across the US as well as the world. California students, you are very well represented, third largest out-of-state population. You can see here in terms of our student population, undergraduate students, 14% of our students identify as first-generation students, the first in their family to attend a college or university. 27% are self-identify as students of color. 17% identify as members of the LGBTQ+ community. The geographic as well as ethnic diversity illustrated by the slide indicates that your experience at the University of Michigan will be enhanced by students who are coming from across the country as well as the world. In terms of academic offerings, students are also wondering, Michigan, large public institution, what type of programs or majors are offered? You can see the slide in front of you. We offer over 280 different majors across 14 undergraduate schools and colleges. In a traditional year, 84% of our classes are capped at 50 students or below. Popular academic interests include engineering. We have 17 different engineering majors. None of them are impacted. We also offer psychology, biology. We have a pre-health advising resource. We also have the world-renowned Ross School of Business. Students, if you have an interest in the business school, please know that you are able to directly apply through preferred admission as a high school senior. In terms of academic support as well as engagement, really what is the vibe like at the University of Michigan? You can see first and foremost on the slide in front of you, we are the top public research institution in the US with over $1.5 billion of research expenditures each year. Not only are we geared towards research, but students are able to be involved in over 1,600 clubs or organizations. In terms of In terms of residence life, 97% of our first-year students reside on campus, so it is very much a residential community. We also offer 13 Michigan Learning Communities, or MLCs, very intentional for that, so that students are able to find community as early as their first year. You may notice my background in the back of me. It does snow in Michigan. This week, there was a threat of snow as well, so even as of April, the mid-April, you will have that as part of your experience at the University of Michigan. The last remaining slides I'll go over is the connection to our alumni. You can see we have one of the largest living alumni populations in the US, over 630,000 strong, a few prominent alums featured there. You may have been watching the news recently, as well as Larry Page. If you're not familiar, running joke in our office, you can always Google him in terms of finding out Larry Page is a alum of the University of Michigan, but you'll always have that strong connection moving forward. As far as applying, my remaining time I'll be spending on our holistic review. I'll leave my contact information for those of you wanting to ask questions moving forward. And again, as far as our holistic review, we were test flexible this past year for seniors for the class of 2021. In terms of juniors and younger, we don't have any direct guidance yet. I just want to be transparent in illustrating that fact. I would recommend going onto our website over the summer months, perhaps June, to find out what that policy will look like for you juniors moving into your senior year. Early action, which is non-binding, is November 1st. Regular decision is February 1st. So those deadlines have been set for you juniors out there that are looking in the future in terms of what that application process looks at. We look at you holistically in my last remaining seconds. So what that means is we look at your transcripts, the rigor of your coursework. We look at rec letters, an academic rec letter, as well as a counselor rec. And last but not least, supplemental essays. There are no interviews at the University of Michigan. So the supplemental essays really act as your interview. So be intentional with your supplemental essays. That is the best piece of advice I can give in terms of our holistic application review. Last but not least, financial aid. Please note that 2 out of every 3 Michigan undergrads are on some sort of financial aid. We recommend utilizing the net cost calculator that is available off of our Office of Financial Aid website. So having said that, I think my time is up here. I'll turn it over to the next presenter. But thank you all for your time, and of course, go Blue.
Great, thank you so much, Chris. Our next presentation this evening comes to us from Emory University.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Giles Eady. I'm Associate Dean of Undergraduate Admission at Emory University, located in the lovely city of Atlanta, Georgia. If you can bear with me for a couple of seconds, I'm going to pull up my slides. There we go. All right. So Emory University is located in the lovely city of Atlanta, Georgia. Here's an aerial shot of Emory. Its proximity to the city of Atlanta. So Atlanta is an outstanding place to attend college. I really think that if you attend college in Atlanta, the city of Atlanta really has a lot to do with the collegiate experience. In Atlanta, aside from Emory University, we have about 19 other colleges and universities. And so we have an agreement with every college and university in the city that you can actually take courses on each other's campuses. So it really allows you to really diversify your college experience. But with the student population in Atlanta, there's about 100,000 students at any given point, and they're from all over the world. And I think Atlanta is a very good city to really come of age. Atlanta is a city that has all the same things that any major city would have, but has a slower pace about it. But it's not a too slow of a pace, but it's just a just right pace. And so there's the influx of what we call Southern hospitality that really makes the experience what it is. And Southern hospitality is a way of life that we ascribe to in the South that really dictates that we're going to be polite to you. And we're going to at least serve you something if you come to our homes. But that's a little bit about Atlanta. Something that you may know about Atlanta is that Atlanta is the birthplace and home of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And that spirit that Dr. King started and the spirit that he left in the world still exists in Atlanta, Georgia. So I venture to say that to be a college student in Atlanta is also to be an activist. So it's the city that has given rise to great people like the late Representative John Lewis, who said, you know, we want to get in good trouble. So to be a college student in Atlanta, you're going to get in good trouble. It's also the city that has given rise to great people like Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams, who really had a major impact on the Georgia politics in the last presidential election, is a big part of Atlanta. And so we expect as a college student, you will be civically engaged in the city of Atlanta. So it's not enough just to go to college in Atlanta. We expect that you're going to contribute to the city. So with Emory University, we have 2 campuses that you can choose from in your first 2 years. The first campus is Oxford College. That's where Emory started in 1836. And then we have Emory College located on the Atlanta campus. After those first 2 years, no matter where you start, everyone comes to Atlanta to continue into their major. And so we offer majors in 3 schools. The first is going to be the Goizueta School of Business. The second is going to be Emory College, where most of the majors are found. And the third is going to be the School of Nursing, where we offer a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. So 2 entry points lead to one of those 3 places, and then you graduate from Emory University. So the differences in the 2. Oxford College, like I said, is located about 45 minutes east of the Atlanta campus. It's just first and second year students. So had a total population of about 1,000 students. It's going to look and feel like a quintessential small liberal arts college. Best suited for students who really want to get involved and who are looking for leadership opportunities. And also really close relationships with professors. The student to teacher ratio at Oxford College is about 8 to 1. So you will know your professors at Oxford College. Emory College is located on the Atlanta campus, where all the rest of the students are found in the university. So about 14,000 students at the university, 7,000 of them being undergraduates. Average student to teacher ratio on the Atlanta campus is about 15 to 1. So a little bit larger than the Oxford College campus, but still such that you will have personal relationships with your professors. On the Atlanta campus is where most of the research at Emory is conducted. Namely, people know us for the research that we've done in public health. We tested the Moderna COVID vaccine in Atlanta at Emory. Also in 2014, we were the first university in the world to treat patients with Ebola. One of the reasons that we're known for public health at Emory is that our next door neighbor is the Centers for Disease Control. And so the Centers for Disease Control is also a site that you can conduct research at as an undergraduate student. But aside from public health research, we actually offer research in every subject area offered at Emory. And so we encourage you at Emory, regardless of your majors, to conduct some research during your time at Emory. So with our application process, similar to what you're going to hear a lot this evening, we take a holistic approach to reading the application. So that means that we're going to look at every single part of the application to make a decision. So one single thing does not qualify or disqualify you for admission at Emory. Something to note about our application process this coming year, we are again going to be test optional. So it is really totally optional for you to submit test scores. We won't hold it against you if you don't, but we again will be test optional. So if you don't have test scores, not to worry at all. Something to note about our process, it does not include an interview. We do offer a few alumni interviews, and they are really based on the availability of an alumnus, and they'll reach out to you if you apply. But the vast majority of students who apply to Emory and who are admitted to Emory will not have had an interview. So similar to my colleague from the University of Michigan, you're going to need to really, your interview is going to really be your essay. That's going to really tell us a lot about you. With our financial aid office, our financial aid at Emory, we meet 100% of demonstrated need to attend Emory for domestic students. So that means that we're going to look and see what you can't pay, and whatever you can't pay, we like to come in with grants and other forms of financial aid to cover your cost. Again, if you have other questions, feel free to engage with us virtually. We have a number of things going on currently virtually. Here's our website if you want to check us out. And also I highly recommend you checking out our Instagram handle. A lot of fun things happen on Instagram daily on our admission page. It's a pleasure speaking with you, and I'm going to pass it on to my other colleagues.
Great, thank you so much. Our next presentation tonight comes to us from Lawrence University.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brianna Barkin, and I am an Associate Director of Admission at Lawrence University, based in Appleton, Wisconsin. But I, excuse me, am regionally based in Los Angeles, California, and I work with students from all over the West Coast on their journey to find the right college for them. So we are a small private liberal arts college, part of the Colleges That Change Lives Consortium. We are a university because we have two degree granting institutions on campus. We have both the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences and the Conservatory of Music. We do also have a 5-year double degree program for students who want to earn both a Bachelor of Music and a Bachelor of Arts in 5 years. Some of our most popular majors in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences right now are biology, history, creative writing. We do have a computer science major, which I know is a little bit harder to find at a small liberal arts college, but we have about 40 different majors in the college, and you don't have to declare a major until the end of your sophomore year. We do have 1,500 students on campus, and we are a very traditional residential campus. It is required to live on campus for all 4 years. We have 1,500 undergraduate students. We do not have any graduate students, and our faculty to student ratio is only 8-1, which is one of the smallest in the country. And about 60% of our classes are actually taught one-on-one. So that includes both our music lessons and also independent studies that most of our students do at least once during their time at Lawrence. All of our first year students participate in first year studies. I know it says freshman studies on the screen, but we are rebranding as of a couple of weeks ago. And it's a really awesome class that all of our first year students take and have taken for many, many decades at Lawrence. We have 3 10-week terms throughout the year, and you take first year studies your first and second term at Lawrence. You're in a class with the same group of 15 students, and you have a different professor each term. And you have a unit on jazz music, a unit on poetry, a unit on physics, a unit on literature. And then at the end of each unit, the entire first year class does get together for a culminating experience. We have a lot of opportunities to get involved outside of the classroom at Lawrence. Because we don't have any graduate students, it's very easy to get involved in research with your professors. We have our own campus in London, England, which is the easiest way to study abroad, but certainly not the only way to study abroad. And we also do offer a ton of experiential learning opportunities. Our campus is really vibrant. There is a lot going on. We have Division III varsity athletics, including football. From the Bay Area, I have gotten a lot of women's ice hockey players. So we have women's ice hockey as well, and a lot of other sports. We are in the vibrant city of downtown Appleton. There are about 75,000 people that live in Appleton and 250,000 people that live in our greater metro area, which does include Green Bay. Go Packers. And our downtown is about a mile and a half of restaurants and shops and really anything you could need right off campus. We do also have a performing arts center that gets a full Broadway season every year. 2 years ago, Hamilton was in town, and our students could get tickets for $25. And I was pretty jealous of that here in LA. I couldn't get a ticket at all. So it's a really great opportunity for our students. We also are a very diverse campus. We have about 22% students of color on campus, 10% international students, and about 10% of our students do come from the great state of California. This is our third campus in Bjork, London, which is a retreat center on Lake Michigan. Our students usually go about one weekend per term with a music ensemble, a sports team, a club, a group of students, a class, and it's really a great way to disconnect from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and connect with your classmates. To kind of bookend your academic experience at Lawrence, every senior does complete a Chandler Senior Experience where you take everything that you've learned over your 4 or 5 years at Lawrence and showcase that onto the world. So what do you get with your Lawrence education? 99% of our students are employed or in graduate school within 6 months of graduation. Last year, we did also have a 100% placement rate into medical school for students that met the med school average. It's very easy to apply to Lawrence. The highlights are we're on the Common App and we have our own app. We do not have an application fee, and we are test optional. We've been test optional for almost 20 years. So don't worry about it as far as we're concerned for next year. And an interview is recommended. Hopefully we'll be able to travel next year and I can meet you in person and interview you, but we always have Zoom as an option for students as well. We have a very robust financial aid program. Our highest merit-based scholarships go up to about $30,000, which is roughly half the total cost of attendance. And you are automatically considered for that with your application. And then we do have need-based financial aid as well. We met our $85 million fundraising goal last summer to be an institution that meets full demonstrated need. So we are working on getting that fully running. We are on our way there, not there quite yet, but we are doing the best we can by our students. You can see our application deadlines right on the screen. The only thing to know is if you are applying to one of our music performance majors, you cannot apply early action 2 because that doesn't fall in the timeline for the music faculty to review the audition materials. I talked really fast. Thank you so much for joining. Please pop any questions you have for me in the Q&A, and I will pass it off to Becca.
Great. Thank you so much. Just a reminder to use that Q&A for all of your questions. Keep those coming for us. And up next, I'm pleased to present Muhlenberg College.
Thanks so much, Owen. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Becca Larson. I'm the Regional Director of Admissions for Muhlenberg College for the West Coast. I work with all students Mountain Time and further west, and I'm excited to share Muhlenberg with you this evening. So we are a small liberal arts college located in Allentown, Pennsylvania. If you take a look at that map, you'll see that Allentown is about 60 miles from Philadelphia and 90 miles from New York City. Allentown itself is the third largest city in Pennsylvania, and it's situated within the Lehigh Valley, which has many other colleges and universities, and we're in a consortium with those schools. It's quite easy for students to get to Allentown from further away. You can fly right into Newark Airport or the Philly Airport, both of which are about an hour and 10 minutes away from campus. And then we also have an airport in the city of Allentown, which is my favorite airport, one terminal, 12 gates, one very friendly TSA officer, but it generally requires a connecting flight. Our campus is in a more suburban part of Allentown, but we are just a couple of miles away from urban Allentown. And the Lehigh Valley was rated one of the top 5 areas for economic development within the US. So it's a really exciting time to be a member of the Allentown community. At Muhlenberg, we enrolled just under 2,000 students. 91% of those students live on campus with guaranteed housing. So we're a school that's known for its deep sense of community. If you look behind me on my virtual background, you'll see that red door. And a fact about Muhlenberg is that every door on campus, every exterior door, I should say, is red, which is a Lutheran sign of welcoming. So in addition to being a really caring college with a deep sense of community, we're also known as a place where students hold doors open for one another. So as a student coming from further away to really, have an easy adjustment to that community is something that we really value. Other points of pride at Muhlenberg, we have really delicious food on campus. We've been consistently ranked in the top 20 in the nation for best campus food, and often #1 in the state of Pennsylvania. The baked goods in particular are some of my favorites. You have to try a whoopie pie, which is a bit of a Pennsylvania delicacy that they bake in-house on campus every single day. Muhlenberg, we're a Division III school. We offer 22 Division III sports competing in the Centennial Conference. That does include football, and in 2019, our football team made it to the Final Four in Division III championships. And while our season was sadly canceled in 2020, we are going to put all of that energy into 2021 to see our football team continue to find success. Academically at Muhlenberg, we offer a lot of academic breadth. About 1/3 of our students double major and another 1/3 pursue a major and a minor. So we're a great place for a student who wants to pursue multiple areas of academic interest or perhaps find connections across 2 different areas of interest. You also can come in undecided. Most of our students do. So know that there's a ton of options for academic exploration. At Muhlenberg, we're known for our strength within the visual and performing arts. We have a spectacular theater program that does offer a concentration in musical theater. We put on between 8 and 10 main stage productions per year, which includes a musical. And then we have a full-fledged summer stock program in the summer where we put on 2 musicals and a circus. And we also have a great dance program with tap, aerial, dance work, ballet, modern, jazz, hip hop. And what's cool about Muhlenberg programs, artistic programs, is that they're not audition-based, although we do offer auditions for talent-based grants. And we really encourage students to get involved. So if you love the arts, but you want to major in neuroscience, you can still audition for any of our theatrical productions, which our students absolutely love. Beyond our programs within the arts, we have great programs within the sciences, a ton of undergraduate research opportunities for our students, spectacular pre-med, and we have partnerships with several of the local hospitals. Healthcare is actually the the biggest industry in the Lehigh Valley. So we have both clinical and research opportunities for students interested in the sciences. We also offer programs in business, accounting, economics, and finance, media and communications, our newer majors in public health and sustainability studies. And we have a cross-college minor in partnership with Lafayette College and Lehigh University in documentary storytelling. So lots of academic breadth at Muhlenberg. We also offer several academic partnerships to help students kind of accelerate their hopes for graduate school. So we have a 3+4 program with the University of Pennsylvania College of Dentistry. Our newest program is a 3+3 Villanova, a partnership in law with Villanova University. And we also are offering now a 4+1 program in applied analytics, which will be offered through Muhlenberg's new graduate program. We really, students really appreciate our Career Center and our deep alumni network. We really take advantage of our proximity to New York and Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. So we offer what are called career road trips, where we give students the opportunity to do site visits and connect with other professionals in their field. A little bit about the admission process. We are a Common App exclusive school. We have been test optional since 1996, so our process really hasn't changed in the last year. We certainly value the opportunity to get to know students. So whether that's connecting with me or regional officer, scheduling an interview, engaging in our many different programs that we have both virtually and on campus, we really encourage you to get to know Muhlenberg a little bit more beyond tonight's presentation. If you're applying for financial aid, we require only the FAFSA. We automatically consider students for need-based aid, and about 97% of our students are receiving some form of financial aid at Muhlenberg. And I will leave you all with a fun fact. As part of our theater program, we offer a 6-sequence course in stage combat. And one of those courses is swashbuckling, which is single sword fighting like a pirate. So if you have any questions about Muhlenberg, you can go ahead and pop those into the chat, and I'll pass things off to our last presenter. Thanks so much, friends.
Great, thank you so much. Our final presentation this evening before we transition to Q&A comes to us from the University of San Diego.
Thank you so much. Good evening, my name is Scott Younger. I'm one of the admission counselors at the University of San Diego. More importantly, I actually oversee Northern California as well as the Southwest. Just sort of jumping into this. Let's see, click, there we go. So a little bit about the University of San Diego. We founded in 1949 by the Diocese of San Diego, Sisters of the Sacred Heart. There's a men's college, a women's college, and a law school. In 1972, they merged them all together to form now what we know as University of San Diego. We are a little bit unique because we're not affiliated with any particular, so we're not a Jesuit school or Franciscan school. We're governed by an independent board of trustees. On that board of trustees, there's 2 seats for each of the founding parties, so they're very much engaged in the direction of the university. About 40% of our students identify with the Catholic faith. The remainder of our students either identify with a different faith background or no faith background at all. The only religious requirement we have is 1 lower division and 1 upper division, religious theology studies. Outside of that, we do not require students to go to Mass, nor do we require them to be a part of the campus ministry. But if you're looking for that component, we have an amazing campus ministry that does a lot of work not only on our campus, but locally, and does a lot of trans-border work with Mexico, being about 30 minutes away from our doorstep. So we're a mid-sized institution. We have about 5,900 undergraduates, about 2,800 graduate law students on campus. Our average class size is 22, and we cap all of our courses at 40. I have a daughter who's a senior at USD. Her largest class in 4 years has been 33. Her smallest class has been 12. All of our courses are taught by professors, so you really get to know them in a great way as well. We're ranked 6th most beautiful campus in the nation. This rank goes up and down. A couple of years ago, we were ranked #1 in the nation, so it just sort of rotates through. But it's a spectacular view. When you're walking on the campus, as you're walking towards the west end, the overview of Mission Beach, Mission Bay, and the sunsets are absolutely amazing. You can sort of see the breakup of where our students come from. About 48% are out of state, 9% are international, and the rest are from the state of California. We offer 42 majors. Regardless of your intended major that you put on your application, everybody comes in undeclared, and you have up until your 4th semester to clear your major, double major, major minor, major double minor, and you'll be able to graduate in 4 years. Now there is one exception, and that is our engineering degrees, and that's because by design, they're actually a 4.5-year-long program, and that's because our students will actually graduate with both a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Science. So they get a dual degree with that, and our engineering program is ranked 13th in the nation. We also have pre-professional advising. So if you're looking to do pre-med, pre-dental, pre-ophthalmology, pre-physical therapy, pre-veterinarian, We have these pathways as well. They're not majors or minors, but what it does is it gives you an additional advisor to work with you over the course of 4 years to make sure you made all the prerequisites, internship opportunities, undergrad research opportunities, and such. We do offer undergrad research opportunities for all of our majors, but if you are in the science major in particular, you're guaranteed a minimum of 100 hours. This research is done with the lead professor. If that research is published, then the students are co-authored with that as well. We do require students to live on campus for the first 2 years. As well, we have a very vibrant campus life for students to be a part of. With over 180 clubs and organizations, 17 Division I athletic programs. We're part of the West Coast Conference. With the exception of our football team, they are Division I, but they're part of the Pioneer League. We have over 50 club and intramural sports. Some of the more popular ones are 6-on-6 inner tube water polo. There's dodgeball, there's Quidditch, which is from the Harry Potter movie, so I'm not quite sure how that works out. But we have 30 plus cultural organizations on campus, 9 sororities, 9 fraternities, 65 plus honor professional societies. So there really is something for everybody to be able to engage in. As well, we live in San Diego, with the beach being 10 minutes away, downtown San Diego being about 12 minutes away, airport 10 minutes away. We're very accessible. We're up in a residential area, so we're a little bit secluded there. We have 3 entrances onto the campus, so it does make it for a very secure campus for our students, and just a lot of opportunities for students to be able to engage. We're also in the Ashoka Changemaker campus. We're one of 45 campuses in the world that has that designation. We're very passionate about being change makers. We do believe that the students that come to USD and thrive are looking to use their strengths, their talents, and their passions, really to better the world in which we live in. The change maker designation comes with that ongoing commitment to social justice, social innovation, entrepreneurship, sustainability, global perspective. As well, global perspective is really important to us as well. About 83% of our students do at least one study abroad option while at the University of San Diego. We have over 80 programs around the world. We have a USC campus in Madrid, Spain, which is also a very popular destination for our students. So there's a lot of opportunities for students to be able to engage with that. When it comes to the application process, we are Common App exclusive, regular decision December 15th. So we don't have early action. We do not offer early decision. There's gonna be a couple of member questions, a personal essay. We require 1 letter of recommendation from someone who's academically, that's either gonna be a teacher or a counselor. Along with that, it says official SAT test scores are optional. We are actually going to be test blind. So we will not be taking into consideration the test this year, nor did we do it this previous year. So we're very excited about that decision as well. We do a holistic review. So we're going to look at your academic achievement. We're going to look at your change maker qualities, such as leadership, global perspective, social justice, role of faith, community engagement. This is through your extracurricular activities. We're going to look at your personal qualities, which are your letter of recommendations and your essay. As it's been said several times tonight, really take the time to be able to fill that up. And with that being said, we do offer merit scholarships. Top 40% of admitted students will automatically receive merit, as well as additional university scholarship, need-based USD grants. So with that being said, I'd like to say thank you so much for your time, and I will go ahead and turn it over.
Great. Thank you so much, Scott. At this point, we'll bring all of our presenters back, as we do have a little bit of time remaining in the webinar for some Q&A. And I think to get it started, one question that we commonly receive from many prospective students is just looking for what kind of a signature event or tradition, something that students on your campuses really look forward to. And I think if we could go in the same order as our initial presentation. So Chris, if you don't mind leading us off.
Sure, thanks, Owen. So for the University of Michigan, I typically will lean on, I'm a huge sports fan, obviously, but I will lean on the fact that we are located in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is very much a traditional college town, about 120,000 total residents, over 300 different restaurants. So in terms of the traditions, students, please know that if you know anyone that has gone to the University of Michigan, they will always shout out, I miss Ann Arbor. I wish I could relive those 4 years. It's not going to be the best years of your life. It's the beginning, right, of a very fortuitous career for yourself. But I think Ann Arbor itself, just with its eclectic mix and also the spirit and vibrancy of a college town, definitely would be my answer to that particular question. Of course, go blue.
All right. Fun tradition that happens at Emory University is one that happens for the first year students, typically in the first week of class at Emory. So a tradition we have called Song Fest. Songfest is where all the first year dormitories get together. And with your dormitory, you have 1 hour to come up with a unique song and dance. And then you compete against the other dorms with that song and dance. And so it's judged by alums, upperclassmen, and even administrators. It's a really big deal, and you tend to not forget your song and dance from your dormitory, and you'll cherish it all 4 years during your time at Emory.
At Lawrence, my favorite thing is Welcome Week. It is the week before classes start your first year, and it's a chance for the first year students to move into campus and meet with their advisors, get to know each other before the upperclassmen move back in. And on the first night, we do have a big convocation in the chapel for all the students and families, and my whole office is there, and you're presented with your class colors and formally welcome to the community. And you do sign the honor pledge and shake the president's hand. And this year, we will have a new president, and maybe you will elbow bump her. That was Becca's idea when you sign the honor pledge.
We're getting creative in 2021 with the ways we say hello to each other, right? There are so many traditions at Muhlenberg. So I shared one with our earlier group. So I'm going to share something new with you all. We take food really seriously, as I mentioned. And so we host a program every year called Battle of the Chefs. And it's where we invite other local colleges from the Lehigh Valley, so schools that are within our consortium, and they kind of take over different stations in the dining hall and cook a meal. It's a bit of like an Iron Chef kind of situation. And then all the students get to vote on what the best meal is. And so even though we host it every year, we also often win it. And it's not because of the bias of being the host, I promise, but it's just a fun way, I think, for students to, get better acquainted with other colleges in the Lehigh Valley and to enjoy some tasty food. So yeah, that's a fun one for sure.
I think one of the really cool things that we do is in December, we have a tree lighting ceremony, and it's for all different faith backgrounds and those who don't have any faith backgrounds at all. But it's a great time for just sort of the students to be able to come together as a community, just sort of welcoming in just the different faith traditions that happen in the month of December. It's just a great time of connection, cookies and cocoa, and an amazing sunset. So it's a really cool time as well.
Great, thank you all very much. And thank you to everyone submitting questions in the Q&A widget. We'll continue to keep answering those. But I think to kind of wrap up this program, if everyone, if you have one, and in whatever order you feel like, any sort of tips or pieces of advice that you would give to students just starting off their college search.
I'll go ahead and get started, and I guess we can just rotate to close it all up. But first, just want to thank everyone. Thanks, Owens, for facilitating tonight. I think my best advice is to not procrastinate with the process. I know during these times, very difficult in terms of trying to be focused on XYZ, especially this daunting process that you find yourself looking towards in terms of the college admissions process. Hopefully, all of us have illustrated that we are humans in this process. But to an extent, we want to make sure that you're prepared moving forward. I used to be a huge procrastinator in high school. It does not work out well if you wait on that for your various applications. So that's my main piece of advice moving forward. I know it's not easy. Budget some time on the weekend. Whatever you do, just get started is the key thing there.
The piece of advice I'm going to offer is I offered it to the last group, but I'm going to offer it to you guys again, and that is stay away from college rankings. College rankings can be deceiving. They are one person's assessment of the university, but they are not your assessment. So I think in order for you to know where you do the best, you need to make sure that you rank colleges for yourself and what they can offer you. It needs to feel like home wherever you go to college. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day where you go to college, as long as it really suits your needs and helps you to be a better person. We all kind of do a lot of the same things. As long as the place confers, agrees, and it's accredited, it's a good college. So stay away from rankings.
That's such good advice. I just went in the same order. Becca, do you want to go? Okay. So I am also going to give the same advice that I gave last time. It's just to keep an open mind. There's 4,000 colleges in the United States. You definitely haven't heard of all of them. There might be 2 right here that you've never heard of before. But we are awesome, and there's lots of awesome schools out there, just like Giles said. So keep an open mind and follow your gut.
Sorry, Brianna, I jumped the gun. I was just so excited to share my advice, I guess. But I always tell students to practice self-care in this process. I think it's one that can feel all-consuming at times. There are going to be people in your life, aunts, uncles, family members, your barber, who have questions, about where you're applying to college, and you can feel welcome to answer those questions, or you can say, I don't want to talk about it right now. So it's okay to set boundaries and to take some time not thinking about the college process. Maybe you make the car a college-free place. So when you're sitting in Bay Area traffic with your parents, you can say, we're not going to talk about college right now. So try to find that balance. I think it's so important. Make sure, as Chris said, you're not procrastinating and that you're staying on task, but give yourself some time to step away from it as well.
And I think for me is just utilize the counselors. We're here for you guys. Reach out to us if you have questions, email us. You've got to do your research to figure out what's going to be the best fit for you. Visit campuses, and don't just think about the school's campus you're on, but the size, the location, the vibe. And if you like that, maybe you're going to like similar schools like that as well. And have fun.
Great, thank you. And we have time for one last question while we kind of answer a few more in the Q&A widget. And whoever wants to contribute some sort of fun fact or something that someone may not know about your campus.
I'll just get started. People don't recognize the variety of cuisine in Ann Arbor. I grew up in Hawaii. We actually have a poke restaurant in downtown Ann Arbor. It's called Poke Poke. So just want to put that out there in terms of a fun fact, just to kind of start up the conversation there.
A fun fact about Emory, and also kind of a tradition as well, is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola was founded in Atlanta. I venture to say part of Emory's founding came from the founder of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has been a major contributor to the Emory campus for many years. So venture to say that you will not find another soft drink around Emory but Coca-Cola. A tradition that we have with that every year to start the school year, we actually have a Coca-Cola toast. So the entire university goes and we toast with Coca-Cola bottles, and the bottles that are made for this event are especially made for Emory. So you can't find them anywhere else in the world, but that's a fun fact and tradition about Emory.
At Lawrence, we host the Great Midwest Trivia Contest, which is a 50-hour trivia contest on the radio. And we have a quiz master who runs it, and it's really fun. And our students stay up all night. It's Google's allowed, but it's really, really hard. So it's a really fun tradition on campus.
So I'm trying to think of what I will share with you all. I guess I told you about swashbuckling, but Muhlenberg was featured in the 1980s, mid 80s, in a Campbell's Soup commercial called Live It Right. It was this really fun song. Students are dancing and singing all over campus. It features all Muhlenberg students, and it was inspired by our red doors, which really match that kind of rich red that you see on the Campbell's Soup can. So I'll pop that link into the chat. If you have 2.5 minutes, friends, I promise it's going to make you smile. So enjoy watching that video.
And then a fun fact about USD, with the last NASA class that just announced the astronauts, of the 12 astronauts, 2 of them are USD alum. So we're super excited about them being hopefully some of the first people to ever walk on the face of Mars.
Great. Thank you all for kind of sharing those fun facts and parts of your institution with us, as well as your initial presentations. And thank you to all of our viewers for joining us as well. At the conclusion of this webinar, you'll be prompted with a brief 4-question survey, and we would appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Also, just a reminder that all sessions that were taking place this evening were recorded and will be posted in about a week's time at the same website where you registered for this one. Thanks again for joining us tonight, and have a great night.